They're pretty cute, though. You ever seen a bat?
They are cute.
They're
Yes,
not.
they are.
Up close,
Yes,
they're
they are.
actually really evil looking.
What? No.
No,
From
man.
far, they're kind of gross. Middle, they're cute. But if you get close, they look like bugs. They're like.
Bobby Bones.
This bat flew into her mouth, and so you know what happens when you touch a bat?
Rabies.
You gotta get a rabies shot.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's guaranteed. But how terrifying would that be? Erica Kahn was taking night photos at Glen Canyon National Recreation Area in Arizona. A bat flew into her face, got tangled between her camera and her mouth. She screamed. Part of the bat went in her mouth for a few seconds. Because we think of bats as being like Batman, real big.
Yeah.
They're small.
They're tiny.
They can easily get in part of your mouth, if not all your mouth. So she has to go. Ugh, by the way, gross. Can you imagine?
They're pretty cute, though. You ever seen a bat?
They are
not.
cute.
They're
Yes, they
not.
are.
Up close,
Yes,
they're
they are.
actually really evil looking.
What? No.
No,
From
man.
far, they're kind of gross. Middle, they're cute. But if you get close, they look like bugs. They're like.
Oh, I think they're cute.
I think they're cute from mid. When you get close to them, I'm telling you, they look disgusting.
They got little pig noses. Pretty cute.
When the bills came for the rabies shots, she had to pay $20,000, $749. $20,749.
For what? For the rabies shots?
The total cost, because she got 4 rabies shots, 3 immunoglobulin shots, and the total cost $20,000.
Whoa. That's a lot of money. For a precautionary shot.
That precaution, though, is pretty heavy, because once you get rabies, you can't not have rabies anymore.
And what happens? Like, you're just rabid?
You die. Yeah, and how they know someone has rabies or an animal, they have to cut its head off.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure that's the case. Should I ask my assistant?
Yes, please. Let's get this right.
We do live fact checks here. Okay, here we go. I have a question about rabies. If you get rabies, as if you actually have it as a human, can you get rid of it?
Rabies is pretty serious because once symptoms appear in humans, it's almost always fatal. However, if you get treatment immediately after exposure, like if you get bitten or scratched by an animal that might have rabies, there's a series of shots that can prevent the virus from progressing. So the key is really early intervention.
If you actually have rabies and you don't get the shots, can they save you in any way?
Once rabies symptoms appear, it becomes really difficult to treat, and unfortunately, it's almost always fatal. There have been a few rare cases where patients have survived using something called the Milwaukee Protocol, which is an experimental treatment that involves putting the patient into a medically induced coma, but it's not always successful. So the best approach is definitely to get the preventive treatment right away.
How do they tell if an animal has rabies?
To confirm if an animal has rabies, they usually have to test its brain tissue. This means the animal has to be euthanized, unfortunately, because the test involves examining the brain directly under a microscope. If there's suspicion that an animal has rabies and it's not possible to test it, they usually recommend treating any bites or exposures as if the animal was rabid, just to be on the safe side.
They cut your head off.
Whoa.
Because they got to get into the brain. That's crazy.
I like how
thank you, assistant. What?
assistant changes her tone to
Yeah,
have
because it's sad.
It's serious, yeah.
empathy
No
for the
joking matter.
situation.
I think Amy's falling in love with my assistant.
It's a